Pentru că aș vrea să trecem repede, că urmează un moment în care vom avea o prezentare atât în format fizic cât și în format online. Spun câteva cuvinte cât îl invit pe domnul Cătălin Lepinzean, care este Business Development Manager la filiala Phoenix Contact din România. Despre Phoenix Contact este vorba. Câteva cuvinte despre această companie multinațională, fondată acum aproape 100 de ani în Germania, care dezvoltă și produce în același timp echipamente și tehnologii pentru industrie electrică și electronică. Sunt echipamente destinate alimentării, protejării, conectării și automatizării sistemelor. Și domnul Lepinzean este aici de față și în direct de la Nuremberg este domnul Marcus Kik, de la târgul Smart Production Solutions, este International Business Development Manager la Phoenix Contact și este și responsabil totodată de conceptul Digital Factory Now. Vă dau cuvântul și mai apoi procedem și la întrebări. Dacă sunt întrebări, nu ezitați să ridicați mâna să le adresați celor care sunt speakeri pe parcursul acestei zile. Dacă nu, mai avem și mâine momentul panelurilor. Vă rog, domnule Lepinzean, sigur.
Mulțumesc tuturor celor prezenți aici. Dați-mi voie să urez un călduros bun venit în numele companiei Phoenix Contact, iar acum voi trece în limba engleză pentru că l-am și pe colegul meu, Marcus, din Germania. Marcus, welcome from here, from Romania. You are there in the Nuremberg booth. Phoenix Contact is present as always, as each year in SPS Drives in Nuremberg. That's why Marcus is with us directly with live feed from Nuremberg. Marcus?
Good morning, Bună ziua. Hello from Nuremberg, from our booth here. I hope you can hear me loud and clear. Katalin, can you hear me, gentlemen, ladies?
Yeah, for sure, you are loud and clear.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Though, first of all, it's a great honor for me to connect here in Nuremberg and your expo in Bucharest here. Thank you very much for having that chance. I would like to start with this little introduction, what we are doing here in Nuremberg at our booth, because the motto of our booth here and of the whole SPS, the Smart Production Solutions Expo here in Nuremberg, it's all about smart automation, bringing your ideas for a sustainable future to life. Solutions that ensure efficiency and save energy await you at our booth here in Nuremberg in Hall 9, by the way. Together we like with all the people coming to our booth to realize sustainability ideas for the all-electric society. What the all-electric society means and is, I tell you later. Or what you see in my back, this is a real picture I took this morning. I can't walk with you around the booth because it's really too loud. At 9 the fair started, and wow, I was really surprised to see so many people, like hungry dogs, hungry wolves, coming to the meal, and they want to just meet and talk and exchange information. And this is just very, very impressive for me. So underneath the topic, a sustainable future, we have a clear message and an easy solution. When we look into the global economy, when we look as Phoenix into the global world of the factories, at the moment globally, it's all about the utilities. When you cannot handle the utilities, meaning water, natural gas, heavy oil, electricity, nitrogen, and whatever you have in your factory, you will never be able to handle a decarbonized factory. You will never be able to report your CO2 footprint per single product. And what we also like to state out very clear, we don't care about the factory, what you're doing, because digitalization, the way how Phoenix Contact is looking to digitalization, is the way that we say digitalization is moving away all our borders, though there is no more a difference between a process or a factory, the automated factory. There is no more a difference between discrete or batch housing. Digitalization is changing that all, and therefore we have a clear mission what we want to offer to our customers wherever they are, whether they are a machine builder, OEM, or an end user. At the end, it's always about three topics. What you see in the right picture, the three icons. It's about their productivity, their efficiency. It's about the security, and I just want to tell and state out clear, security will be a part of the new machine directive in Europe. So we have to take care for the security of the OT side, not just talking always about the IT side. And very important not to forget the icon about sustainability, empowering end users and of course their machine builders to have at the end a net zero factory with net zero machines and net zero emissions. Katalin, so this was the perspective here from Nuremberg and our general mission. What would you say are the challenges locally at the moment in Romania?
Yeah, Marcus, I'm glad that you mentioned our aims and our targets, and of course you mentioned the brownfields locations for industry, because here in Romania we are let's say facing several types of industrial plants. We can discuss about a lot of plants which are already existing from various periods of time, of course, in various levels of automations. Some of these factories could be more automated, more robotized, you know, but other factories needs to have this improved for the future, and of course they are looking to improve in the future. On the other hand, of course, we can speak right now also about new factories, new plans for the future factories, which are of course are built from ground, you know. That's why we can say that we have a very broad market, but we are addressing right now to the brownfields, to the factories that are already existing, that they might have several needs in and several challenges, of course. On the one hand, these type of factories, they can face, for example, an issue with more or less older equipment, more or less older machines and robots, which needs to be updated from various motives, you know. On the one hand, they can be pretty heavy energy consuming, and on the other hand, they might require a lot of workforce to be maintained and to be operated. On the other hand, these factories are facing a different challenge. For example, they can have a bigger and bigger issue with the workforce. The workforce is a very, very precious commodity in Romania. Due to one hand, this, let's say, not that many specialized employees, but on the other hand, a lot of potential employees might go elsewhere into the world to find some new challenges. That's why one of the challenges these factories have right now is to automate as much as possible. On the one hand, to obtain more ability to work with less employees on the one hand, and on the other hand, of course, to reduce the overall energy consumption. And I guess that with our challenges, with our technologies and our solutions, we can address these companies. So, as I just mentioned, 9 out of 10 companies globally are investing in digital factories. Of course, this is also happening in Romania. I had the chance to discuss with a lot of and various types of companies here in Romania about their plans for the future. Most of these companies want to invest in future digital factories. They need to come from that level that they are right now to that net zero factories, net zero green gas exchanges, and so on. So, Marcus, our objective for all our solutions, can you tell us some more details?
Oh, thank you very much. I like to tell you something. I were mentioning the word all-electric society. Katalin, you were mentioning the word brownfield factories. The all-electric society is nothing which will destroy what we are having. The all-electric society is something which is a future, which describes a future, a world in which energy, utilities from renewable resources are and is available in a sufficient quantity at affordable prices, and it's very important. So it is at the very first point at the moment, how can we handle our brownfield factories? For the greenfield factory, it is then a easy jump. In addition to the consistent generation and use of renewable energy, reducing the demand for primary energy through efficiency, measurement and measurement methods, and creating intelligent and networked systems, they are all the keys for a sustainable future. And again, when we are not able to handle, just for instance, a glass melting factory, a food factory, a plastic producing piece and parts factory, or a steel factory for the melting processes, we will be not able to handle the future. So, and very important, what we have figured out, it's for all the industries, and Phoenix Contact has segmented the all-electric society into the 5 so-called sectors. And at the moment, I think we all here, also in the audience and here in Nuremberg at the SPS, we are from the sector more or less industry. And the industry, and they are our solutions for electrification, electrificate anything, networking anything, and of course for automate anything. And therefore, we will show you now in the next slide a video which is called, or which is telling about utility metering and reporting. This is all what helps a brownfield factory in or through the initiative Digital Factory now to start with their utilities. And it's important to say for any of their utilities. Katalin, please start the video.
Phoenix Contact enables the industry for any number of production sites to collect requirement data, process data and energy data, and to evaluate that data at one central location. In this way, power generation, storage and consumption can be balanced optimally, not just for one factory, but for entire industrial networks. For this purpose, Phoenix Contact offers highly secure, web-based platform solutions that also enable remote maintenance of machines and production plants. Maintenance times, system failures, and system downtimes are minimized, and CO2 emissions are reduced significantly for even more efficiency and sustainability in production.
Thank you very much for showing this little video. As I said, this is just a little part of what we then call use case more than an application. And you have seen it, as many different utilities you are having in your factory, as more we are better. As more as you have different old legacy non-device and patchable machines, sensors, skids, it is the only way to choose our open ecosystem. Yeah, what is the market situation when we look in Europe, when we look across the globe? We have the rising energy costs. Therefore, first and primary focus is for our utility metering, for our net zero race, being able to handle the energy costs. We have unforeseeable legal risk. Just think about the CSR, Corporate Sustainability Directive, at least here in Europe. So that does mean even if you're just a small and medium-sized machine builder, you will have to report your greenhouse gases till or until the end user, because maybe you deliver a special part to a big larger end user and they have already to report. Now it's up to the small and medium-sized machine builders that they can deliver those information into the supply chain. And most important, gentlemen and ladies, the pressure from the consumers. Also, we, Phoenix Context, we has a clear statement to our clients, which is saying we are by 2030 totally 100% CO2 neutral along the entire value chain. That is meaning we are pushing into our clients that they have to do something. And just to give you an example, a company like Apple has already a commitment of 70% of their suppliers that they are all CO2 neutral. What is with the rest? The rest are no more their clients, and that's the easy truth behind. So for our offer, our solution for this is very easy and literally spoke with one word: it is for any utility in your brownfield factories. Whether you run your food factory with a lot of water and you have to do the optimization of your water usage, whether you are on a glass factory where you have to use a lot of natural gas, think about the ratio natural gas to air at your heating processes, or oil, and of course electricity or steam in certain application, and many more. The features in our offer: you get a IEC 62443 certified hardware and software. This is here very important to say and to mention. Is not only a hardware, also a software certified ecosystem, where it's then very easy to talk about IoT, machine learning in cloud or on-premise solutions, because it is very hard to understand this big data stuff. And believe me, I don't like this phrase is big data, because big data is big more. And there's a certain point where nobody can handle this. We were just trying to say less is sometimes more, to be way faster, more agile, and above all, more effective. And this all is coming along in an individual hard and software toolbox system for your application, for your factory. So sum it up a little bit. For the race to net zero in the factories, again, we stated out 3 topics where we have to discuss, where we can talk with you, where we can, together with our Romanian subsidiary, can help you in your different factories. Sustainability. You cannot even increase productivity without thinking to sustainability. And lastly, it's about the directives, it's about the security. And again, let me just mention it again. The new machine directive in Europe will focus not only on safety, will focus clearly on security. And with security, I don't talk about IT. I talk about the IEC 62443, the operational technology. So for sum it up, what is Digital Factory now? What is the initiative? It's all about transparency in your processes. And therefore we use 4 segments for data transportation, meaning, are you aware of your network load? Because digitalization needs to have the right questions. Do you really need all the data to be more successful, meaning data collection, data storage, and data evaluation? When you know how many data you need for a certain application, like condition-based monitoring for a gas-to-air ratio, it's about talking about the OT data security and our devices and applications behind. And lastly, it's about data usage. Not only collecting data, no, it's just half of the game. When we have collected, when we have done a recommendation, and when we have done a decision, we have to stop and close something. This is where we really differentiating us in the market, because we cannot only collect, store, and give nice recommendations to do something better. We can also be a 100% IEC 5111 functional safety high redundant device with all the security topics on board. Now this is all data of a net zero factory. Yeah, coming to an end slowly, endless connectivity within an open ecosystem. And this is very, very crucial to mention, an open ecosystem. When you look into your factory, in the next slide, you see it very easily. Our solution does not care about what you are having, whether it is a hard signal from an X explosive area, whether it is a 4 to 20 milliamp signal, whether it is a differential pressure transmitter, a thermocouple, an electrical meter, we don't care. We just create software connectors as apps from a free app store. You download these apps, these connectors for your devices on these toolboxes, what you can see here and have the name utility metering boxes. And I'm sure you have not one utility, you may have plenty of utility, plenty of measuring points. And then, because you are now on the OT side, where maybe never ever was before, idea about having segmented networks regarding the IEC 62443. Again, here we have a ready-to-use solution, a ready-to-use toolbox for segmenting networks where never ever was a device or patch management, where never ever was it possible to get remote accesses for commissioning, for device and license management, or just easy for an access where you can give a machine builder direct access over VPN or DMZ zone. So, and at the end you have on top also, if you have no own cloud, a ready-to-use dashboard world where you choose how many hierarchy models I need for my greenhouse gas reduction system, or for my net zero strategy, for my CO2 balancing. This can come along. And if you have maybe third-party clouds from whomever, it is just again just an app, download it in your toolbox and get the connection done, whether it is on premise or on cloud, whether it is a connection to DCS system, MES, ERP systems. It is just here, and we are here really open, so we don't care about what you are having. And again, I can just tell it to you, in your brownfield factory, as many different sensors, devices you are having, it is the job for Phoenix Contact to normalize, to bring content to this information, that you have no more that much data silos, because data silos is this what is really stopping us from being efficient, fast, and agile.
Marcus, I know that we have a lot of collaborations. We implemented, and we are in various phases of future implementation with a lot of our collaborators and partners around the world, including Romania. But can you tell us, for example, about our own experience in our own PLC Next factory? Because I see here in these slides some interesting facts, some interesting results of after a couple of years of experience with implementation of those systems.
Absolutely, Katalin, yes. A little over, I would say now, 5 years ago, Phoenix Contact, because we have our own factories all around the world, where we're producing, well, we don't produce metal parts, we don't produce bottle jars and glass, we are producing electronic devices. Controllers, edge devices, relays, terminals, and then everything what you need for your electrical cabinet. But we were just asking us, do we need digitalization to be more productive? Do we need digitalization to be more sustainable? And more, and like these questions, really maybe stupid questions. And in some use cases we said no. We do not need everywhere digitalization. But there are points. Remember that figure, what you were saying, 9 out of 10 companies investing. But do they know where to go? Or why do we need digitalization? Is it just because all the other doing it, so I have to do it, but I don't know why? It was very important, and these are all brownfield factories at Phoenix Contact, that we included the operators, because they know their processes, they know what is the weakest point of a machine, of a gasket or whatever. On the right side you see, because we were everywhere defining use cases, and one use case we were talking about today was the use case utility metering and reporting for reducing the GHG, the greenhouse gases. And there were many other use cases, like a use case for increasing OEE, overall equipment effectiveness, or for having segmented networks, network zones on the OT side. For me, most important is not that the productivity were increasing through the use case, or that they reduce the setup time of several SMT machines. No, the last figure, 3 to 5% of the data of the existing brownfield machines were enough to create or to map fully the process of the machines, of the skids. For this factory, it might be way different in a glass factory or food factory, but here, this is important. On the other hand, this 3 to 5%, what does this mean, ladies and gentlemen? This means that we were using over years 95 to 97% of those data, of those machines, with no success, with no benefit. We were just having data. And this is what I mean with, why do we need digitalization? We just need digitalization for these 3 to 5%. And this we figured out or with our minimal invasive connections to our machines, to our gas and utility skids. And again, less than 95 to 97% does mean we do now need less network switches, less network cables, we have less network load, and to create a fancy, spooky digital twin was now so easy, because with only a few bits and bytes or information of the processes and machines, it was very easy. And therefore, they have done now in 2022, beginning 2023, an enormous step in accelerating their productivity and the reducing of really, literally spoken, any utility in these factories. And by the way, this PLC Next factory can be visited online over our landing pages, or of course every time in real, then you can talk with the operators, asking, hey, what did you do? Why did you not touch the machine by collecting all this information? Why was it so easy to get the information with external toolboxes and then. So it is a story what we show to the world, how Phoenix did it and how Phoenix Contact were asking the question, why do we need digitalization and what is the really benefit? The PLC Next factory in Germany and Piedmont.
Thank you very much, Markus. Thank you for sharing all this information with us. It is fantastic how an experience of 5 years brought us to have this in front of you, that we can optimize in such extent the information of data that we are exchanging between the OT and IT systems, the quality of the data that we need to extract and of course transport and then protect and so on until the end of the day when we need those information. We need these data to interpret the information regarding the energy consumption, regarding the status of the machine, and so on and so forth. So let me thank you, Markus, for your presence here. Looking forward in the future to have you also here in Bucharest and to have in-depth discussion with our partners here.
Thank you very much. Mulțumesc.
Și mulțumim și din partea noastră pentru interesul acordat.